Hello, everyone. It is me, Samuel, with the Samuel Brock Flynn Show. I have former CIA intelligence officer and intelligence analyst Larry C. Johnson. How are you doing today?
I am well. Thanks for having me, Sam.
Well, you're welcome. So, can you tell us about what is going on between the White House and the whole genre of what is happening over there? It looks like a mess to me, but
It's like deja vu all over again. Compared,
yes, sir.
if you remember Friday, the news media was frothing at the mouth, anticipating that Russia was going to be forced to accept a ceasefire. That Trump's got all this
Right.
leverage over Russia, and Russia's going to have to give in. Well, there's nothing of the sort. Um, Russia,
No.
Russia hasn't deviated from its position that it's been repeatedly articulated by Vladimir
Right.
Putin starting in June of 2024, repeated multiple times by Sergei Lavrov, the foreign minister, other senior foreign ministry officials, the deputy foreign minister Rybakov, Ambassador Nebenzia, who's the Russia's ambassador to the UN. They've all repeated it.
Right.
The U.S. doesn't seem to catch on. So now they're waiting. They got it all. I'm just looking up here at the TV. They got all the honor guard out waiting for Zelensky to show up. The Europeans are
Right.
already there. Now, originally, they were supposed to show up after Zelensky. The fact that they're showing up before Zelensky may be, maybe they've gone in. Here's what I hope happened. They went in to see Trump as a group without
Right.
any cameras, without any of the other showmanship. And Trump just put it to him very straight that this war is coming to an end. This
Hmm.
is the deal. I'm going to tell Zelensky is the deal. I want your backing for it. No complaints. If not, we're going to pull out of NATO immediately, and you guys are on your own with this war. We're not going to do another thing for you. Your choice.
Right.
That would
I,
be ideal. I don't think that's going to happen, though.
personally, I think they should, pull out of NATO completely, considering, you know, the whole mess is on their side, anyways, in a sense. So, and only that, I just feel like we should be making, and this is my personal opinion, I think we should be making ties with Russia, not, we should not enemies, but we should be making ties with Russia at some point.
Yeah, Russia is a natural ally of the
Yeah.
United States, and
Right.
particularly in its current state,
Hmm.
it is a Christian, an ancient Christian nation. The
Yes.
Christianity took root in Russia more than 1,000 years ago, and
Right.
it plays a very important part of their lives, the people, the culture. Putin himself is a devout Orthodox Christian, but they've also what I find fascinating about Orthodox Christianity as opposed to Catholicism or Protestantism or the evangelicals is uh, the Russians know how to get along with other people of other faiths. So you don't see this anti-Islamic hysteria that is so
Right.
often used to whip up the masses in the United States. You don't see that in Russia. Now,
Mm-mm.
Russia has faced some serious Islamic terrorist threats and dealt with them in a no nonsense manner. But
Right.
that said, they have a significant part of their population are Muslims, and those Muslims see themselves as Russians first and Muslims second.
Wow. Well, I mean, I certainly would like to visit Russia at some point personally, but I don't think that's going to happen with the way our political nonsense is happening.
Well, it's not
Um,
easy. It's tough to
no,
it's difficult to get there right now.
yeah, it is. And to being a former second lieutenant of the Civil Air Patrol, I was there for 3 years or 2 years for as an IT officer there in MSA. I pulled out when I seen Biden and Kamala coming into office, because normally you wouldn't do that because it would be typically looked as a disrespect to our country. No, in this case it's not, because look, why would you go and be a help to a clown show that's not making much sense to the American people, but
Right.
on top of that, other countries.
Right.
Why would you, support something like that? And why would you even, and you typically wouldn't. And there's another thing too that I've noticed, that is our Declaration of Independence even the law of this country, is they're just looked at as a document? That's
Well,
another thing.
well, the Declaration of Independence actually it doesn't enjoy the same status as the Constitution, because
Right,
the Declaration of Independence was a declaration to King
right.
George. And I would note in passing that my fifth great uncle, Charles Thompson, who was the Secretary of the Continental Congress, had the Declaration of Independence in his personal possession from 1976 until 1993, 1890 or 1793, 1776 to 1793.
I get you. Yeah, it it what I like about it is it's about the American freedom, the true freedom that we all should have, instead of it being, oh, you can't talk this or this way or do this or do that. Now it seems like anymore, sadly,
Yep.
or
No,
I,
there definitely been dramatic inroads on the civil liberties of American.
y- yes,
It's not as
certainly.
bad as Europe, but it's heading in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, let me say this, your privacy is not the same when you go out here and get a job or anywhere. Your privacy is not protected like they say it is. You're, you know, actually, I've had a few breaches of my own identity,
Uh huh.
and so I've been watching that very closely. Supposedly that they have a monitoring system about that, but I don't really believe that entirely. So, because anybody can act like you if they wanted to.
Well, if you have a smartphone, the ironically named smartphone,
Yes.
your identity and personal information is compromised. Just accept that as that's the price that comes from owning or having a smartphone.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that's a shame that your identity gets that easily stolen these days. It could be even from a job, but in my case, that's what happened to me. It was from some previous jobs. They let my data, social security number, and everything leak out, and I'm like, great.
Mm.
This is not. I'm like, come on, this is the United States. That stuff's supposed to be protected. You know according to law. But
Yes.
anyways, it's all seems like BS anyway. So let's just look at the facts there.
Yeah. Supposed to have there are constitutional protections against
Yes.
unreasonable search and seizure.
Yep. Exactly. So, um, how'd you like of the Alaska and the between the Trump and the Putin meeting
Well,
yesterday?
yeah, it was I described it. It was a triumph for Putin
Right.
because it broke the Western narrative that Putin's isolated, and also forced the American people. First time in you know, I, I I don't recall the last time that Vladimir Putin was interviewed on an American television station, news media by ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, CNN,
Right.
all of them, um, where he was actually interviewed and allowed to explain what the Russian position is. Um, we've had a complete blackout of allowing talking heads like myself and Doug McGregor, Scott Ritter, Ray McGovern, Jeffrey Sachs, John Mearsheimer. There's a whole list of people that have been on television in the past as frequently as talking heads. I mean, my goodness,
Right.
I was a Fox News analyst for a year, but I appeared on every network, cable and broadcast. I appeared multiple times on shows like CNN's Crossfire,
Right.
ABC News Nightline, the Today Show with Katie Couric. So I used to be almost ubiquitous. Not anymore. And really, I started getting closed out when I spoke out against Barack Obama in 2008. That was, that was the killer. The media and their bias wouldn't have me back on. In fact, I think after 2008, I was only on television, interviewed on CNN once, and that was in March of 2017. And it was when I spoke out about the fact that the Brits were spying on Donald Trump. It wasn't the FBI; it was the Brits.
Right.
And they put me on air with that, Pillsbury doughboy known as Brian Stelter, and he thought he was going to rough me up, and I'm
Right.
quite capable of handling myself in those situations. But other than that, my point in all this is you've got a complete media blackout about what it is,
Right.
what's really going on in Russia, and a complete media propaganda campaign to brainwash the American people and that Russia's an enemy, Vladimir Putin's evil, and we got to destroy him.
Right.
And
That's
so,
that's
but
not good.
that's what that meeting with Trump destroyed. That at least it broke through, because here's both men smiling, and Trump was genuine in his welcoming and smiles at Putin. So we'll see what happens today. The best outcome would be Troop delivers an ultimatum to the
Right.
Europeans and Zelensky. He got them all there in order to do that, and that this war will come to a quick end with Russia not giving in to the West,
Right.
or alternatively, um, the meeting it's going to break down and there will be no agreement and the war is going to continue. I really don't see a middle ground here, because
Right.
the notion that Russia is going to give up Zaporizhia or Kherson. I've been listening to some of these U.S. pundits. Could Donald Trump give up Alaska? Could Donald Trump give up
Hey,
Hawaii? No, they're part of the United States. They're legally
no.
part of the United States.
No.
So, okay, so we would let anybody if they were Russians saying that about the United States, we'd say that Russian didn't know what the hell they're talking about. Well, that's exactly what the Russians are saying about all these pundits that are
Right.
talking that way.
Mm. Yeah, that's not good. That's a good way to start a whole big fight over there. Um, did my question is, when Ukraine used to be a part of Russia a long time ago, as I take it, and then it decided to be its own little country, its own thing. But then now Russia's wanting to take it back. Is there a clause that
Well,
Putin would have put in there that
no,
would have said, "Hey, I can take this country back at any time"?
let me correct you on the history.
Okay.
Ukraine did not exist as a formal country until about 100 years ago. With the creation with the Bolshevik Revolution in
Hmm.
1917, and then the rise of the Soviet Union, Ukraine then became part of the Soviet Union, and it remained part of the Soviet Union until the collapse in 1991. At which point, Ukraine declared itself as an independent state, as an independent country. So they've really only been an independent country for about 34 years.
Oh wow. So not very long, but that's what I would have thought. What he would have had a clause or something. Hey, I could take this country back at any time, whatever. That's what I would have done
No,
personally.
no,
But
this notion that Russia's this aggressive imperialist power keen on conquering other
mhm,
countries. That's not Russia. That's us. That's the United
right,
States. We're the
right,
ones doing that, not Russia.
Right.
But the reason that this conflict has escalated to what it is
Right.
because of Western provocations. The West expansion of NATO to the east, and the use in the building up of the building up of Ukraine, so that NATO could use it as a proxy by attacking Russia.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's not good. That's not a good idea. It's a like I was saying, that's a good way to cause countries, superpowers, especially ours, China, all everybody to be into it if by doing causing these proxy wars.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's not good. I hope Trump really does some fixing of this country and our ties between other countries because um, that's because I mean, I looked at him as a figure of somebody with intelligence, not somebody that's gonna eat ice cream all day and you know and do nothing and hardly talk to the public like we had last 3 or 4 years. You know,
Well, Trump is in a position he can bring all this to an end,
yes, he
uh,
is.
but so far he's been unwilling to do that, and
Right.
he continues to insist that this is Joe Biden's war, and no, it's not. It's his war.
No,
He's
no.
it would not continue one more day were it not for U.S. military support, U.S. providing intelligence support, and the continued flow of U.S. financial support.
Yeah, yeah. Especially when Biden left office, the ball is in his park, so he can make that end.
Right.
Or you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say this: Kamala, I cannot follow her. That lady is got. I tried following her to understand her, and I can't even follow where she goes. I mean, where did they get these people from?
Well,
Curiosity.
they found someone that was pliant, that could be easily manipulated, and that would do what she was told.
Right.
That's how she became vice president.
Yeah, that's what is this, an acting job? This should be more of
Yeah.
this
She'll.
should be more of
I
running a
don't.
country
I don't.
than that.
I don't want to say she'll go down in history as one of the most anonymous, unknown vice presidents, because actually she'll enjoy some measure of fame or infamy by virtue of her just constant gaffes, errors, and incompetence.
Right. I mean, I was just, yeah, that I didn't think those two had competence, and I was really, I think all of us were afraid that they were going to start a nuclear war. That's what we were afraid of. So,
Right.
all of us, I'm like, no, I hope, I hope to God not, because I mean, I hope, I am a Christian. I hope the God upstairs would intervene, but
Sure.
who knows? We got a lot of evil running this country. That's the problem. We got a lot of evil probably running NATO more. They're willing to start proxy wars. You definitely got a lot of evil going on there.
Yeah, we've American people are being consistently lied to, and
Yes,
so trying to break through that web of lies is quite difficult.
yes, we need more transparency for sure.
Yeah.
Very, very, very much. We need more transparency and people going by the United States Constitution for what it means and for what it stands for instead of making it out to be some random document. I mean, not a lot of people know. I went to Ashworth College for forensic science. I
Hmm.
had to know a little bit of law in order to
Right.
to go into courtrooms and say, hey, here's the evidence, this is what we have, this is our theory, what have happened, what could have happened here, this is what we think believe is what supports this fact of what like let's say example, a murder scene, this is the you would state your theory, you would say, hey, this is what happened, and this is the evidence that we have that supports that fact of that
Right.
happened. So, but anyways, I do appreciate you for coming on to my show. How's Judge is it Napolitano?
Napolitano. Napolitano.
Napolitano. That's what I was trying
Yeah.
to figure out. How's he doing?
Oh, he's fine. He had a rough weekend. He had to get up very early Saturday. Flew from Newark, New Jersey, down to Washington Dulles. Attended a Ron Paul conference. Hosted a panel discussion with several of the regulars from his show. And then climbed back on a plane, flew back up to Newark. So he had a long day on Saturday. He was recovered today. We had a good chat.
Right. Question: have you ever heard of a presidential candidate, Robbie Wells?
No, have not.
Okay, he is an independent.
Mm-hmm.
He he spoke a lot of things about what he thinks going on in office on my podcast too, not too long ago, but not to the extent of what you of course put it out there. But the thing of it is, he really is for America, but I I hope to see him run again. He was running against Trump and Kamala at the time, so but hopefully have him come on, and you might want to look into his background of who he is. But
Sure.
I'm hoping that he would be a good guy to have on the team as a presidential candidate and president of the United States one day. So
Okay.
but I would look into him and maybe see what you all think. Here's the thing about what I think United States should do is pull away from Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, or what his name is, correct?
Yes.
So I think we should pull away from that guy, because I mean, Israel, I've noticed, is not on God's side of things. They seems like there's evil going on over there too here lately. With
We're definitely under the Zionists wield great influence in the United States, unfortunately.
right,
And until the United States begins treating Israel just like it would treat any other country, we're going to be constantly in a mess in the Middle East.
right. I mean,
So,
I know we've been a mess, and I mean, I know we had Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, and what else is there?
Syria,
Syria. I
Yemen.
thought I was missing. Yep,
Yeah. So
exactly.
there's a lot that we should not be doing, and there's a lot of things we should be doing. And until we get that sorted out, we're going to always be on the cusp of a war in the Middle East.
Yeah. I think honestly, I think it's insanity with all these crazy wars, but that's just how it's constant insanity. It's like we should be making peace here some way and pull out,
Yeah. Yeah.
And two, it wouldn't be adding on, think about it, it wouldn't be adding on to the national debt when
Mhm.
because you have to spend a bunch of money to the soldiers and etc. infantry, and and equipment to go over there and do all that. So
Right.
you got to think of that for a
Yeah.
minute too. So it would definitely, if we had somehow made peace in some way or shape or form with some of these countries, we would be saving money and less spending. That's for sure.
Right.
So.
All right, Sam. Well, thank
Is
you.
there anything you want to put on the show,
No,
like your website or anything? Or
people want to follow me, they can follow me at sonar21.com.
all right, I'll actually put that out there on there. So I put that
Appreciate
there
that.
on the.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And folks, this is Larry C. Johnson. Go check his things out online on YouTube, Facebook. Are you on Apple anywhere?
Well, I'm on. I stay away from Facebook. I'm on X, Twitter, former Twitter,
I gotcha.
and Substack, and LinkedIn. But other than that, Sonar 21 is the best place to find me.
Sonar 21. All
Yep.
right. What made you come up with that
Stands for
sonar21.com?
Son of the New American Revolution, 21st Century.
I gotcha. I thought there was gonna be a revolution when this COVID stuff come.